China has just shocked the whole world with what it is building right now, but almost nobody talks about it out loud. While Western media distract you with small news bites, China is quietly, without noise, assembling a future that looks like scenes from a science fiction movie. AI systems that think on their own, machines that replace people, cities governed by algorithms, not officials. And at the same time, almost complete silence in the West. Because what is happening in China right now is no longer just smart cities or flying taxis. China is building something far more powerful, a robotic army. And when you see what it is already capable of, you will understand. The future is no longer somewhere far away. It is already here. And at the head of this future is China. Delivery drones. Pizza from the sky. In 15 minutes. Remember what pizza delivery used to look like? You wait for 30 to 45 minutes and pray that it arrives warm. China simply said, enough. They built an entire network of flying couriers, drones that deliver food in 15 minutes. And the most amazing thing is that they arrive almost to the minute at the exact scheduled time. The company Muan has already made more than 300,000 deliveries using drones. Imagine, that is like feeding an entire medium-sized city, only from the air. The drones fly along fixed routes and drop the orders into special locker boxes. You do not need to wait for the courier at the door. You do not need to listen to, "I am already at the entrance." Everything works automatically. And then the real madness begins, in rural areas. JD.com uses drones that can carry from 5 to 30 kilograms. They are literally called a pickup truck in the air. These machines connect villages and small towns where fast delivery previously seemed completely unrealistic. And this is just the warm-up. Robo-brains on wheels. How China rewrote the rules of cars. Here is something that will really make your jaw drop. Only this year, 15 million new cars in China will receive a robotic brain and will be able to drive themselves. That means that 2 out of 3 new cars in the country are already potential self-driving vehicles that do not need a human behind the wheel. But there is one car that stands out even against this background. GUA-01, the first car in the world with a real AI brain. This is no longer just an autopilot, it is a car that literally thinks and talks to you. It has an AI partner named Simo. You can stand outside the car and say, "Simo, come pick me up." And the car will drive over to you by itself, from a distance of up to 2 kilometers. And that is not all. GUA-01 runs on 2 NVIDIA Orange chips with a performance of 508 tops. It has 11 HD cameras, 12 ultrasonic sensors, and 5 radars. That is more sensors than many military drones have. The car parks itself, changes lanes, avoids obstacles, recognizes traffic lights, and even makes complex left turns without a dedicated arrow in the middle of dense city traffic. Super SUV from the future. A tank turn and a floating car. Have you heard of the BYD Yangwang U8? This is an SUV that can perform a tank turn, spin around its axis on the spot like a spinning top. It has 4 independent motors, and each wheel can rotate in its own direction, so the car does not need to move forward or backward to turn around. But the craziness does not end there. The U8 can drive into water almost 1.5 meters deep, stay afloat like a boat, and even move through the water at around 3 kilometers per hour by spinning its wheels. Imagine, a flood starts, everyone is stuck, and you simply drive into the water and sail away to a safe place. The car can stay afloat for up to 30 minutes. And this is not a concept car, not a showpiece. You can really buy this model. IM Motors. L6 is another example of how China plays with physics. This car can pull into a parking spot sideways, almost sliding to the side as if it is dancing. Thanks to four-wheel steering and independent electric motors, it reduces the required width of a parking spot by about 11%. The turning radius is only 4.99 meters, almost 2 times smaller than that of ordinary cars. And the BYD Z9 GT can parallel park by literally diving into tight spaces using a forceful swing of the rear axle. The electric motors spin the rear wheels in different directions. The front wheels serve as a pivot point, and the car simply slides into a spot that looks absolutely too small. The dancing supercar. When 0 to 100 is faster than you can blink. If all of this seems impressive, wait until you see what BYD built next. Their supercar, Yangwang U9, accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 2.36 seconds. Faster than you can finish saying super speed. It broke every speed record on the planet, accelerating to 496 kilometers per hour. This is not just the fastest Chinese car, it is the fastest production car in the world, according to the developers. But the craziest part is still ahead. BYD Yangwang U9 can dance. This $236,000 supercar is equipped with a system called Duzak that can lift the car into the air by 75 millimeters, jump over obstacles, and synchronize the movements of the body with music. So, you literally watch a 1,287 horsepower supercar dance to the beat. And this is not just a show trick. The system reacts in 40 milliseconds and lifts each wheel by 75 millimeters at a speed of up to 500 millimeters per second, faster than you can blink. In terms of power and capabilities, it already surpasses most production cars ever built. It is faster than Lamborghini, Ferrari, and even the Rimac Nevera hypercar that costs $2 million. And now the scariest part for other car companies. BYD has become the first car manufacturer in the world to cross the mark of 10 million electrified vehicles sold. And at the same time, their dancing supercar costs $236,000, while many Ferraris easily sell for over $500,000. Who is not afraid of a robot driver? China versus the rest of the world. But it is not just about the hardware. It is important that people are ready for this. 85% of Chinese people are comfortable with being driven by a robot. In the United States, the same level of trust in robots is shown by only 39% of people. China is literally bursting into the future, while other countries are still arguing, what if it is dangerous? Already now, robotaxis are being tested in 19 cities. About 16,000 self-driving cars are driving on the roads, and there are 32,000 kilometers of specially equipped routes for them. That is roughly like going around the Earth along the equator and still having some road left over. Supercharging. 5 minutes. And you are in another city. Electric cars are cool, but they have always had one weak spot: charging. Hours at the outlet. China has simply broken this problem too. BYD has introduced new batteries and a charging infrastructure that changes the rules of the game. 5 minutes at the charger, and you can drive up to 400 kilometers. That is, you go to the bathroom, grab a coffee, come back, and the car is already ready to take you to another city. This system is called megawatt charging, with a power of up to 1 megawatt. That is roughly 1,000 times more powerful than the charger for your smartphone. For the first time in history, charging an electric car has become faster than filling up a full tank of gasoline. Trains that fly above the ground. But China did not stop at cars. They already have trains that do not touch the rails. They simply float above them on a magnetic cushion. Maglev trains accelerate to about 404 miles per hour. That is about 650 kilometers per hour, in just 7 seconds. That is faster than many airplanes manage to reach their takeoff speed. In tests, One of these trains accelerated to more than 620 miles per hour, faster than many passenger airliners in the sky. At these speeds, the trip from Beijing to Shanghai takes around 2.5 hours instead of 5.5. The world is shrinking, distances in China are melting away, and all of this is happening on the ground, without airplanes. Kids as its specialists. AI lessons from 6 years old. And here's where it becomes truly interesting. China is building not only technologies, but also the brains that will control them. While many countries are still arguing whether children need programming at all, China is introducing mandatory artificial intelligence classes. Starting this year, every child in Beijing from the age of 6 must study AI for at least 8 hours a year. We are talking about millions of children who learn to work with artificial intelligence before they properly learn the multiplication table. Moreover, the authorities have chosen 184 schools where even more advanced AI programs will be tested. By the time these children grow up, they will be operating technologies that we do not even have yet. Roads without people. When highways are built by robots, it seems that there is no area left where China has not deployed artificial intelligence. But imagine an entire highway built without a single human worker on site. China has already done this. For the construction of the road, they used 100 autonomous giant dump trucks. Each of them can transport 85 tons of cargo and drives completely on its own, without a driver. The machines work even at temperatures down to -40 degrees, never asking for a break to warm up. And this is only part of the picture. Chinese companies are bringing entire robot fleets to construction sites. A dozen autonomous road rollers and a couple of huge pavers that build roads on their own according to GPS models and smart algorithms. They literally pave the roads on which other robots will later drive. China's next goal is to bring the fleet of such dump trucks to 5,000 units across the country by the end of the year. And looking at their pace, it seems that they might manage even earlier. Airports of the future and the all-seeing Skynet. Flying in China feels like stepping into another time period. There are already 557 security checklines in 62 airports that use facial recognition. You do not need a ticket or a passport there. The system recognizes you by your face. At Shanghai Hongqiao Airport, you can check in for your flight, drop off your baggage, go through security and board the plane almost without talking to a single person. It takes about 12 seconds per passenger. The largest Beijing airport is equipped with more than 600 biometric control points, 250 automated gates, and 80 self-service stations. Everything is, again, tied to facial recognition. You simply walk along the route, and the cameras and systems do the rest. And this is not just in airports. Cameras in China are literally everywhere. They observe, analyze, and recognize faces in real time. More than 200 million surveillance cameras have been installed, 4 times more than in the entire United States. This system is called Skynet. Skynet uses facial recognition to track practically every person in the country. The technology is so advanced that it can detect jaywalkers, find people without masks, and, according to developers, even predict the likelihood of crimes before they happen. Police officers use smart AI helmets that scan the crowd and instantly compare people's faces with wanted databases. The technology is incredibly powerful. And while China is racing ahead in the field of AI, the rest of the world is just trying not to fall behind. Paying with your palm. Your wallet is now in your hand. We are used to paying with a card, a phone, sometimes a watch. And in China, they have already gone further. There you can pay, even without a phone, just with your body, more precisely, with your palm. It sounds like a trick, but it is already reality. Millions of people in China pay for purchases simply by bringing their palm to a scanner. The WeChat Palm Pay service reads the lines and vein pattern in your palm. It is more reliable than a fingerprint and faster than pulling out a wallet. More than 1,500 stores already use this system. The probability of an error is less than 1 in a million. Students in universities use it, train passengers use it, and quite possibly, very soon, no one will need cash, cards, or even smartphones anymore. Humanoid robots and robo-dogs, new employees of this world. And here's where everything becomes completely like science fiction. There's a humanoid robot in China, about as tall as a 10-year-old child, that performs perfect kung fu moves, dances, and even runs faster than many adults. Meet the robot G1. Its height is 1.32 meters, and its weight is about 35 kilograms, including the battery. It has 23 movable joints, so it moves almost like a human. Walks, runs, jumps, sits down, stands up, shakes hands, waves, and does all of this with impressive balance and precision. Sometimes it seems that a person in a suit is hidden inside, but it is a real robot, and it is not just a toy for shows. G1 can help with everyday tasks, carry objects, open bottles, tidy up a room, and if you are bored, it can dance, show kung fu, or perform any choreography that you upload into it. When the robot needs to be transported somewhere, it can fold itself compactly, almost like a suitcase. And here is what really amazes. Such a robot costs around $16,000. Seems expensive? For comparison, many other humanoid robots cost hundreds of thousands. Against this background, G1 is almost a mass product. But this is still not the end. There are also robo-dogs called Go-To. These are not cute pets, but serious working machines. Each weighs about 15 kilograms and can accelerate to 2.5 meters per second. The main thing is what they can do. These robots walk upside down, do backflips and front flips, tumble and roll, overcoming obstacles. They understand voice commands thanks to technologies like GPT, can give a paw, stretch, dance, and even take photos. They are equipped with 4D LiDAR that sees the space around them at 360 degrees, virtually without blind spots, and detects objects at a distance of only 5 centimeters. The Go-To Pro model can accelerate to 11 miles per hour and walk beside a person, automatically avoiding obstacles. There's also a wheeled version, Go-To-W. It can drive on any surface while carrying a load of about 3 kilograms. And yes, this is already being used in real life. At the 19th Asian Games in Hangzhou, such robo-dogs worked in the stadium. They carried javelins and discs for athletes. Spectators were thrilled. These machines are already being used by the police and military of different countries. Android robots that are hard to distinguish from humans, and now to robots that look like humans. There is a company called X Robots that makes realistic androids with skin that looks real, perfect teeth, and eyes that blink like living ones. These robots have up to 140 different degrees of mobility in the face and body. That is more than many people use in everyday life. One such android costs around $280,000, and building it takes a whole month. Every detail must be brought to perfection, even the pores on the skin. And the most surprising thing is that X Robots has already built more than 200 such humanoids and is now producing more than 500 units per year in its huge factory. They have even resurrected great scientists, Einstein, Stephen Hawking, Thomas Edison, in the form of talking robots that tell visitors their biographies. These androids already work in science museums, hotels, schools, and even in government institutions all across the country. The company has opened the first robot museum in China, where you can see living versions of historical figures. The most disturbing part is that in a few years, you might simply not understand who you are talking to, a human or a robot. And what happens when such androids become cheap enough that anyone can buy themselves an ideal employee or even an ideal conversation partner? Robot doctors. Hospitals that work 24/7. While we argue about whether a robot can be trusted with a simple consultation, China is already using AI in medicine at an incredible level. They have created AI machines that find your veins and draw blood more accurately than the best nurses. No painful poking, no. Let us try the other arm. But that is only the beginning. Chinese hospitals have implemented medicine delivery robots that pick up drugs from the pharmacy unit and deliver them to departments in minutes instead of hours. No delays, no, we did not have time to bring the pills. The robots know which medicine belongs to which patient and weave their way through corridors full of people and carts on their own. And here is what really breaks the usual picture of the world. In the Xinjiang region, surgeons have performed operations on patients who were 8,000 kilometers away. The doctors sat in other cities, and the surgeries were carried out using robotic systems remotely in real time. And those were still living human doctors. But what if the doctor himself is a robot? Meet Dr. Alfred, an AI surgeon who looks so realistic that you could easily mistake him for a human. He communicates freely, understands several languages, and answers medical questions as if he were an experienced specialist. China has created the first AI hospital in the world, where 14 robotic doctors and 4 robotic nurses work. Together, they treat up to 3,000 patients a day. The accuracy of diagnosis is about 93%, which is already better than many human doctors. Smart agriculture. Drones above the fields. If China has used AI in cars, construction, travel, shopping, food, and medicine, it is logical to ask, what about the most basic thing? Food. Here, they have turned everything upside down as well. The DJI Agris T100 is a powerful agricultural drone that can carry up to 100 kilograms of seeds or fertilizers. It flies over fields on its own, sprays chemicals, works even at night, and carefully avoids obstacles with the help of sensors. It can sow fields very quickly, saving farmers tons of time and effort. Another crazy machine is a robot with 108 arms for trimming cotton tops. With the help of complex sensors and cameras, it accurately sees where to cut and can process from 26 to 40 hectares of crops per day. In terms of speed, it is about 120 times faster than human workers. There's also a smart GPS-guided transplanter machine. It plants seedlings on an area of 6 to 7 hectares in just one day. This is a job that previously required 80 to 100 people. So farmers save huge amounts of money on manual labor. All these systems show how China is applying AI and robotics, even in such a traditional area as agriculture, to grow more food, faster, and more efficiently. Numerines. China is not just creating cool technology. It is doing it everywhere and all at once. Cars, trains, drones, robot doctors, androids, robo-dogs, smart farms, roads without workers, airports without passports. And all of this is developing at such a speed that the rest of the world is getting uneasy. And this is not the end. In fact, this is only the beginning. Each of these technologies will become even better, faster, and cheaper. And the question is no longer whether all of this will appear in other countries. The question is different: when? And there is another question, a much more personal one. Are you ready to live in a world where cameras and algorithms know almost everything about everyone? Where a robot can treat you, teach your child, build your road, drive your car, and monitor your behavior? Because the future is no longer knocking at the door. It has already come in. And China is the one currently leading everyone else. What do you think about this? Write all your thoughts in the comments, and if you liked this and want to see the next part, something similar, put your likes, subscribe to the channel, And right now, go watch the previous incredible episodes on our channel.